everybody, welcome back to advising class. I'm the advisor, and today we're going to learn all about your DegreeWorks degree audit. Hey DJ Studies a lot, when was the last time you checked your DegreeWorks degree audit? Come on man, you had one job. Anyway, for everybody else out there, the lesson is, don't be like DJ Studies a lot. Check in with your DegreeWorks audit regularly. It's full of really important stuff. What kind of stuff? Well, I'm glad I asked. Your DegreeWorks audit is basically an interactive checklist of all the requirements you need to complete in order to graduate. Core, distribution, major, GPA requirements, they're all here. It's a party! And it updates live, so you can always tell which requirements you've finished, which you're working on, and which you still have to complete. It's the perfect tool to help you plan your classes each semester so you can graduate when you want to. So follow me and let's dive into DegreeWorks. First stop. I know! The student profile, right? Hey, that's right, DJ Studies a lot. I'm still annoyed at you. Oh, one more thing. For anyone watching this for the 2nd, 3rd, or 14th time, feel free to use the chapter headings on the track bar to skip around if you just need a recap on a particular part of your audit. Now come on everybody, follow me to InfoBear! Welcome to your student profile in InfoBear. You remember how to get here, right? Just log into InfoBear, go to the Student tab, and select Student Profile. Or you can magically jump into a whiteboard like I did. You know, whatever. Now before we dig into the DegreeWorks audit, let's take a second to appreciate how much useful information is here in your student profile. If you ever need to access academic information, then your student profile is the place to go. It lists your GPA and credit totals, and you can check if you have any holds that will prevent you from registering for classes. Your academic advisor's name is also listed here if you don't already know it. If you click their name, it'll even give you an email link for them. Just click that link to start an email to them. Easy peasy. Now let's take a look at the sidebar. There's all kinds of good stuff over here. For example, you can find links to your grades and schedule each semester. Don't forget to check these. If you want a more holistic view, take a look at your unofficial transcript. It lists your classes, grades, and GPA for your entire BSU career. Finally, as you've probably already noticed, you can access DegreeWorks from here too. Now, depending on when you're looking at this, you may see 1 or 2 different DegreeWorks links. If you only see one link, then that means you live in the future. In that case, just click the link you see and go take a ride in your flying car when you're done. If you see 2 links, welcome to the present. Right now, we're only concerned with the new version of DegreeWorks. So follow me and click the new DegreeWorks link. Up and let's go! We made it! Welcome to DegreeWorks. Now, as I mentioned, DegreeWorks is a live, updating list of all the requirements you need to complete in order to earn your degree. On the site here, those requirements are broken down into the various different sections below. In addition to your degree requirements, you also have some other general information and useful tools up here at the top to help you with degree planning. We'll do our best to cover everything here, but if you have questions, reach out to your academic advisor and they'll be happy to help you out. Speaking of your academic advisor, if you click this little envelope icon at the top of your audit, you know, the one that says Contact Advisor when you hover your cursor over it, well, give it a click and a handy little window will pop up letting you know who your advisor is with an email link if you want to send them a message. So if you didn't get that information on your student profile, you can always access it here instead. Pretty convenient, right? Right! There's a lot of other useful stuff up here at the top of your degree audit as well. But we'll come back to that in a bit. First, we're going to dive into the degree audit itself so you can get the lay of the land. Then we'll come back up here and go over some advanced DegreeWorks training. Now, before we can go through the audit, we need to know how to actually read it. For that, we use the Legend. That's right, down here at the bottom of your degree audit, you'll find a key to the meaning of all the symbols you see on the page. You should try to get to know all of them, but for now, we're most concerned with these 3. Number 1, the green check mark. When you see this next to a requirement, it means it's complete, finished, donezo. Congratulations! When you're ready to graduate, your whole DegreeWorks audit will be filled with green check marks, and won't that be nice? Number 2 is the blue semicircle. This means that the requirement you're looking at is in progress. More specifically, it means that the requirement will be complete when you finish your classes at the end of the term. At that point, the icon will change to a green check. Keep in mind that DegreeWorks assumes you're going to pass all of your classes. If you don't finish all your classes, this icon may not change to a green check after all. And finally, number 3, the red circle. A red circle next to a requirement means you have not completed it yet, and it won't be done at the end of the term. When you use your DegreeWorks audit to plan for future semesters, look for the red circles to get an idea of what you should register for next. We'll touch on a few of the other symbols as we go through our example. But for now, these are the big 3 you need to know. Now, back to the top. Oh, that's very high. Oh boy. Well, I guess I'll see you at the top. Just a second. That was a lot. Okay. I'm back. Now, what were we doing? Oh, right, DegreeWorks. I bet you want to see what this audit actually looks like, don't you? Well, let's not waste any more time. Come on down. Your degree audit is broken up into different sections or blocks. Each block displays a set of your requirements. This way, they're not all jumbled together in one big mess. Remember, your goal is to turn all the red circles on your audit into green check marks by completing each requirement. The first block is your degree block. These are the big requirements, like needing 120 total credits to graduate. It encompasses all the other blocks on your audit. These circles don't get checked off until the blocks below are complete. For example, when you finish your core seminars requirement, this item will get its green check mark. Because of that, this will actually be the last section you finish off. One quick note here, up above where it says credits applied, by default that number includes all the credits you've completed plus whatever credits you're currently registered for. Just make sure you're aware of that when you're doing the math to figure out how close you are to graduation. Now let's take a look further down. If needed, you can use the links on this block to jump down to the other sections directly. But I'm only at 3,000 steps so far today, so let's walk. Next, we get into the core blocks. All undergraduate students have these requirements on their audits, regardless of major. We start with core skills. Most of these classes, English 101, English 102, Math, Logical Reasoning, should be finished in your first year at BSU. So this will probably be one of the first blocks you complete. You can see here that Bristow is taking English 101 this semester, so there's a blue semicircle icon. At the end of the semester, that's going to change into a green check, because Bristow is rocking that class. One of the other icons we haven't talked about yet is the prerequisite clipboard. If a course has a prerequisite, that is, if you have to do something specific like pass another class before you can take it, then you'll see this prerequisite clipboard on the audit that tells you a prerequisite exists. See? If you click on it, a new window will pop up with more information about the course, including a list of any prerequisites to be aware of. This comes in handy when you're trying to plan out when to take advanced courses in the future. So don't forget about it. Okay, let's keep on keeping on. As you continue down your audit, you'll see more core requirements. Seminars, writing and speaking intensive requirements, distribution and additional distribution courses. Again, everyone has to do these, so these will show up on everyone's audits. You may have to take multiple classes in order to complete some of these requirements. For example, you'll need to take 3 humanities classes to meet that particular requirement. You can see here that Bristow is taking one now, World History to 1500. But because Bristow is only on requirement 1 of 3, the red circle is still showing. And there's a little note that says 2 classes still needed. You won't actually get your blue semicircle until you're working on your last class for the requirement. And you won't get your green check mark until you've finished all 3 classes. It's also important to remember that there's a lot of overlap between these core areas. For example, when you take your first year seminar class, yes, it will fill in one of your seminar requirements, but it will also count as a writing intensive course, and it may fill in a core distribution too. So keep an eye on this as you go so you don't end up doing more work than you have to. Another thing about core distribution requirements is that a lot of times people don't know how to complete them. That is, you might know you need to take 2 fine and performing arts classes, But how do you know what counts as a fine and performing arts class? Well, there are a few ways to figure that out, and one of them is right here in DegreeWorks. If you just click the attribute link connected to the requirement you're checking, then bam, new window. And this special little window gives you a full list of all the BSU courses that satisfy that particular requirement. Very handy feature, if I do say so myself. Now you can scroll through all the different options and pick out the ones that sound most promising to you. Okay, that's about it for the core requirements. That means it's time for program or major requirements. Which set of requirements you see here depends on what your major is. We're looking at Bristow history major now, so we'll see the history requirements. First things first. At the top of this block, you'll see general notes about the program requirements. How many credits are required for the major, whether there are any minimum grade requirements, etc. You'll also see information about your progress in the major related to things like credits and GPA. Then, as we continue, you'll see the specific requirements you have to complete for the program. In this block, you'll mostly see individual courses that must be completed, but some requirements will give you more options. For example, History 112 or 132. And if you see the @ symbol anywhere, that means any. So this History for @ note means any 400 level history class. As with the core requirements, the links here can also give you more useful information. Any of the attribute links will give you a list of classes that meet that particular broad requirement. Or if you click an individual course number, you'll get a course description and list of prerequisites for that class. And if the class is on the schedule for the current or upcoming term, you'll see that information here too. This far into the show and we're still finding new and useful things about DegreeWorks. Can you believe it? Just below the program block is the major GPA and residency block. This is an important one for any majors that have GPA requirements because you can keep track of those here. Also, to clarify a common question, the residency requirement doesn't mean you have to live on campus at BSU for any period of time. It just means there's a minimum number of credits you have to earn from BSU to graduate. You can't just transfer everything in from another school and get a BSU diploma. Now, if we keep moving down past the program block, we see minor requirements next. But these only show up if you actually have a minor on your record. After minors, we get to the area for free electives. Classes that you take will show up here if they don't fit into any of your core or program requirements. Don't get scared if you see some classes here. Almost everyone needs at least some free electives to reach the 120 credits required to graduate. Up next is the In Progress block. This lists the classes you're currently registered for but haven't completed yet. And finally, we get down to the Not Counted block, where you'll see any classes on your record that don't meet any kind of requirements. If you take any pre-college level classes like Math 090, they'll show up here. If you didn't pass any of your classes, say you got a W grade or an F, you'll see an Insufficient block down here too, with those courses listed. This is Bristow's first semester though, so he doesn't have to worry about that yet. If you've failed some classes and you want to improve your GPA, this is a good place to look to find options to repeat for better grades. Some people may also have some notes listed down here, but many will not. And hey, look at that, we made it back down to the bottom. That wasn't so bad, was it? Now that you know the basics about DegreeWorks, let's hop back up to the top and take a look at some more advanced tools and tips. Wait a second, how did I not notice this elevator before? Oh boy, that was so much better than a ladder. Alright, so where were we? Right, back at the beginning. Let's take a look at some of the other useful tools up here. For example, this 3-dot menu is full of good stuff. The GPA Calculator and class history options are especially useful. The GPA Calculator gives you a few different ways you can review your BSU grade point average. Use the different tabs to figure out what kinds of grades you need to get to bring your GPA to the level you want, or to see how your grades this semester might change your cumulative GPA at the end of the term. In class history, we'll give you a snapshot of your BSU academic record. This window shows an abbreviated version of your unofficial transcript where you can check the grades, classes, and credits on your record here at BSU. And here's something important for anyone who's double majoring here at BSU. If that's you, then pay attention to this drop-down menu up here. You see, different majors have different degree types. Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science in Education, like that. Kind of like Pokemon. Just like Pikachu is an electric type, a degree in history is a Bachelor of Arts type. At any rate, this is important because if you have two different majors and two different types, DegreeWorks will only show you one at a time. That's where this menu comes in. Right now we're looking at Bristow Bear's audit for a history major, which is a Bachelor of Arts. But Bristow has a biology major too, Bachelor of Science. To toggle between the two sets of requirements, we just have to use this drop-down menu. I'll choose Bachelor of Science, and ta-da! You can see that the program changed from history to biology. Now, if we scroll down to the major requirements, we'll see information for the biology major instead of the history major. I'm going to switch back to the history major for now, though, because there's one other quirk to this. If you have two majors, then one of them is set as your primary major and the other is your secondary major. Well, if you're a real go-getter and you have a minor to go along with your two majors, the minor only shows up on the audit for your primary major. So as you can see here, there's no minor listed with Busy Bristow's biology bachelors. But if we switch back to history, there are those silly minors. So keep that in mind if you think your minor suddenly disappeared from your record. Finally, for anyone who does not have a declared major yet, I'll put in a plug for the What If tool here. We won't go into it right now, that's a whole other video. Just know that you can use this What If tool to explore any other major or minor here at BSU. Want to know the requirements for a computer science major? Want to see how many credits you've already completed toward a minor in philosophy? Want to see how crazy it would be to take on a triple major? Just use the What If tool to find out. Feel free to play around with this on your own. Don't worry, it won't actually change your major. And follow up with your advisor to talk about your options in more detail. And that, my friends, is just about that. I hope you found this presentation both informative and witty. If you still have questions about DegreeWorks or InfoBear or anything else at BSU, then talk to your academic advisor. We're here to help. Now, as a reward for making it to the end, here are some puppies and kittens. Enjoy!